attach as a supplementary file. And yes, ask yourself, would a researcher be able to reproduce the study with the information I provide in this paper? This is the most important aspect, right? Means your findings, your experiments, one can reproduce. You present your things in such a way that it should be reproducible. I won't talk much about title and keywords. Those two things are already discussed by Dr. Naik. Let us see this abstract. What is abstract? What is there in the abstract? So in abstract, what we do, whatever keywords we have selected, we try to include those important keywords in the beginning of the title. Construct the title and abstract from keywords from all sections of the main text. From all sections of the main text. What does it mean? After completing the paper, after completing all the sections, the last section belongs to abstract writing. So always write the abstract at the end of your writing, because you need to connect the things in the abstract. You need to include each and every section in the abstract. So abstract writing is the writing which you do at the end of your writing. So yes, in this one should include keywords, whatever keywords you have selected. It should reflect those keywords. Avoid abbreviations and passive voice. Clear instruction. Don't use abbreviations in abstract. If you want to write SEM, that won't be permissible. You will have to write scanning electron microscope. Yes, always state the objective and start the result section with the answer to the research question. This should be your first statement in the abstract. Give sample size if you report percentages in abstract. Present effect size with confidence intervals. This confidence interval is a statistical word which is related to the mean value standard deviation calculations. There is some relationship between these variables. So you can know more about confidence intervals. You can search the internet. Check if the abstract covers 4 W's. First is, what is known and why is this study needed? First thing, what is known and why is this study needed? Second, what did you do? Abstract should reflect that. What did you find? What does it mean? Check that the abstract can be read independently from the main text. And yes, revise every time the main text is revised. An abstract is written in simple present tense. Don't use past tense or any other form of tense in the abstract. I think the idea is clear about abstract. do's and don'ts are there. So every point is important while writing the abstract. And for the general paper, what I do, I generally write the abstract in 8 sentences. Two general sentences related to the domain, the next two statement related to the experiments, next two statements related to results and discussion, and last statement is the conclusion of the study. This is how I make the abstract. Let us move to the next section. If you have any question, then you can text in between, right, in the chat box. I will keep my eye there. Got it? So every point is important. You can note it down even in between if you have notebook with you. Next is introduction. What we do in introduction, what do we write in the introduction, right? So this is the most important part of your paper because this is the beginning of your paper and it should give a clear-cut message to the reader, to the editor, to the reviewer. Check if the introduction has a funnel shape with clear sections on general background. It should have a open discussion section. It should discuss the domain, it should discuss the topic, whatever is going on, whatever work has been carried out till now, it should discuss that. And it should make a funnel kind shape which should get pinpointed to your topic, your theme. What is known and what is unknown about this specific subject? Why was this study needed and why it is important? Clear? Next, it should include primary research question. Why did we want to know? And study, aim and design. What did we do to answer the research question? Third important thing. Next is, yes, the length of the introduction is something which everyone want to know, that what should be the length of the introduction. Yes, it should be the total of 10 to 15% of your writing content generally. It depends. Yes, determine if the introduction is the start of the storyline of your paper by looking at your outline. Yes, and ask yourself, will the introduction is appealing to editors, reviewers, and readers? This is what we do in introduction. Next section is materials and methods. What do we write here? So this section includes basic information on the study design, setting, subjects, data collection, data analysis, and ethical approval. So in this section, if suppose someone is reporting some experiment, like in chemistry, if we do some experiment and in this, for doing this, we use n number of chemicals. Suppose I use zinc oxide, titanium oxide, ethanol, potassium permanganate, etc. So we need to report the grades of these chemicals. Even we report the company, the make for these chemicals. If we have used any instrumentation like scanning electron microscope or X-ray diffractometer or for spectrophotometry, If we have used UV visible spectrophotometer, then we need to write the specification of those experimental setups. So this is what we write in this section. Yeah. And refer to previous publications from the same large research project, such as study protocol for additional information if available. So this particular thing we write in the experimental session. I have not included experimental session on any of the slides. So yes, material, methods, and experimental, you can say. So we consider providing detailed information on methods as web only supplementary file. If you feel like that you have done some study, but that is not the main part of this paper, but yes, you want to give the detail of that you can attach as a supplementary file, right? So experimental session we generally write in the past tense. After material and methods, we describe the experiments, we give the details of the experiment. If we are referring some experiment, then we will cite that, and the details of that can be attached as supplementary files in the paper. And yes, always ask yourself, would a researcher be able to reproduce the study with the information I provide in this paper? This is the most important part. One should be able to reproduce your result. You will have to write so precisely. Next is the result section. We report the results in past tense. Always remember, experimental session is reported in past tense, and even the results are reported in past tense. Match the result section with the method sections. Yes, whatever conditions you have used, whatever conditions you have mentioned in experimental section, you should match with the result section, right? This is something, a common mistake we do while writing the paper. You can text the findings without interpretation in the first section of the result. You can even highlight the findings by using tables and figures in the text. You can figure out something. You can add some graphical thing. You can add some pictures. You can refer to some pictures. You can make tables for comparison. You can make diagrams. You can make bar diagrams. You can have anything in this section. Yes, again, the present estimates with 95% confidence intervals. Means your results should be around the mean value. Consider providing additional results in tables and figures as web-only supplementary file. Even if you find something not that important from the content point of view, that you can represent as a supplementary file. You can add as many as supplementary files. Yes, in the same section, we have discussion section. Now, discussion section deals with the following points. The first is check if the discussion section has a clear inverted funnel shape with distinct sections providing first the summary of main findings. What did we find? You start with a common discussion, giving citations to the other studies, then come to your point. In this study, What have you opted? Yes, we do comparisons with other studies, what is known, what is new, and how does this fit in. This is the most important aspect of your paper. What is new? Because whenever you will approach any journal, they will ask you what is new in your paper. Why do we publish your paper? What have you done new? Right? So you should be able to highlight the innovation in your study in this section. You should do it by comparing with the previous results, by making tables, by highlighting. If suppose you have made some solar cells with some chemicals, previously it was done and efficiency of that was around 10%. And in your study, if the efficiency goes around 15%, so that is something which is catchy. You need to highlight that. Again, yes, don't hide the limitations of your studies, right? That is again a very important point. So, whatever is your strength and whatever are your limitations, you should highlight those points also. Implications. Are the findings important? What can we do with them? That one should also include in this section. And yes, answer the research question in the first paragraph and check if this is the line with the research question posed in the introduction. Check to see if the discussion section does not present new results. Right? So discussions should lead to innovation, should highlight your contribution in that field with detail. Be frank about acknowledging limitations. Ensure it offers a clear ending to the storyline of the paper. Got it? Any questions till now? I can take a few before. You can use the chat box if any of the point is not clear to you. Let's move ahead. In this result and discussions, we include tables and figures also. This I am going to discuss in detail in the second session, but still I will highlight few points here. First is make a deliberate choice early in the writing process on which key findings to represent in the tables and figures. The title should reflect what is shown. Title of the table or a figure, it should reflect what is shown. Ensure that tables, figures are self-explanatory. Do not repeat information from tables, figures in the text, but emphasize the important findings. Design your tables, figures to make them clear and easy to read. We'll discuss more about tables and figures. Start each table and figure on a new page after the reference list. About the referencing, use reference management software at all times. Now there are many. Dr. Naik has discussed few softwares. There are few more like EndNote, Mendeley. Mendeley is available. That is, you can search online and you can learn any of the management systems. Find the requested output style in the author instructions of the target journal and adhere it to 100%. Always cite the original source behind the statement. Yes, this is very important. Use your own words to describe facts derived from references. Never copy paste sentences. If you need to choose among several references, select one by considering the level of evidence, open access, year of publication, and published in the targeted journal. Keep all these points in your mind, right? Each and every point is important while deciding the references. How to decide reference? That is again something very important. If I am writing in 2020, if I will select all the references from 90s, highly cited references, 300, 500, 600, 1000, 2000, 20, 30. And if I won't select anything from these days, like 2020, 2019, 2018, what does it mean? It will only reflect that you are not updated. You don't know about the recent happenings. So select the references by considering the citations, by considering the hot topic in your field. Meticulously check the final reference list for any errors, right? This is again just a minute. So always check the reference list before forwarding it to any journal. So yes, important steps in writing, I can say. Organize your thoughts, ideas, and action in logical manner. Provide clear descriptions. Simplify your word choices. Write concisely. Use passive and active voice appropriately. Right? You should understand where to use passive voice, where to use active voice. Select the appropriate words. Broaden your vocabulary. Avoid filler words. What do you mean by filler words? Please text. What do you mean by filler words? What do you mean by filler words? Text in the chat box. Filler words. Give me the examples. Yes. Try. Filler words. What are filler words? I'm giving you some examples and then you can suggest me more. Almost, slightly, maybe, actually, basically, means you are confused. right? So these are filler words. Try to avoid such filler words, especially in result and discussion section, right? Can you give me some more examples like this? All of you, if you are involved in this lecture, please text some more filler words like this. Ashish sir, any responses in the chat box? I hope I am audible. Yes, I can see few responses. Relatively, fairly, reasonably, seriously, above all, firstly, all at the end of project. So, like, maybe, yes, yes, yes. These are the filler words, and we should take precaution. Let's move ahead. Read what you write again and again. Read what you write. Sometimes, what will happen when you will frame a sentence, then you will see that after writing a complete paragraph, you will feel like this particular statement doesn't fit well here. Let us reconstruct that, right? So parallel construction always help you for this. Next is, yes, optimize paragraph and sentence structure. Use transitions to control the flow. What do you mean by transitions? What do you mean by transitions? Yes, transitions in the sense you can give some illustration, you can add something, you can compare with some previous results, even you can give some examples, you can give some details, you can refer to time, you can refer to space, and you can have the concessional writing in this, right? So all these things are very, very important while writing. Next is word repetition. Yes, this is something which is very, very important again. Word repetition. Don't repeat the same word. If you are writing something, then try to use different phases, different phrases. Don't use the same word, same phrase again and again. Improve readability with consistent formatting. Use parallel construction to facilitate understanding. What do you mean by parallel construction? Example, I am giving one example that Sunil not only wants result, but also fame. Sunil not only wants results but also fame. This is an incorrect statement. How can we correct this? Please text. Sunil not only wants result but also fame. For me, this is incorrect. How can we correct this? Use the chat box. Yes, I am waiting for your answers. I am repeating the statement. Sunil not only wants result but also fame. Yes, Rutuja is writing Sunil wants result along with fame. Sunil expects results with fame. Yes. Same statement I can write as Sunil wants not only result but also fame. Or I can write Sunil not only wants result, also want fame. Also want fame. Right. So this is what do I mean by parallel construction. Next is maintain consistent use of labels, abbreviations, and acronyms. So if I want to write SEM, so in the paragraph, in the section, I should write it completely. Whenever I will be using this for the first time, scanning electron microscope in the bracket SEM. Then and then only I can use that abbreviation in that section. Always remember, you need to introduce that and then you can use this. Next is use abbreviations and acronyms to aid the reader. Minimize pronoun use for clarity. Keep it simple, right? Don't use pronouns. No need to use. Yes. So after completing the paper, read it and give it to someone close to you to read. So to confirm whether your writing is pinpointed or not. What is the outcome of that? Right. So these are all the important steps in writing. Right. I think I have given you the information. All these are informative thing. I am not trying to teach you as I am not the expert of this field. Right. I am sharing the information with me. Right. I hope all these informations will be helpful for you while writing a paper. Next, I will just check the screen. These are the common mistakes we do while writing. All write a lot. Write, write. Should off, should have. Supposed to. Even can't is not permissible. Cannot, may not. should not. Got it? Next, just check the screens, right? These are all. So where to use among and where to use between. There is always a confusion between among and between, right? Next is about the amount and number. If we can count, then we should use that as a number. If that is not countable, then we use the word amount. For butter, we will use the word amount. Where to use good and well? Well is something related to adverb. Good is adjective. Explicit, implicit, which is ambiguous and unambiguous. This again is a common mistake while writing. Already, already, idea, ideal. Where to use these words? What do we mean by idea? Idea is a thought or conception. But ideal is what? The concept of something perfect. Were, where, right? These are the common mistakes that students do. It's and it is. Whose, who is, who has, your, you are. Yes, advice, advise. SE belongs to verb form. CE belongs to noun form. Affect, effect. Capital, capital. Site, site. SITE represents a location. CITE represents to quote. Course, course. Complement, complement. Set, sit. Stationary, stationary. NARY is unchanging. NERY is something related to papers and all. Again, this is a common mistake which we do then and then, right? These are special findings, all from the dissertation of MSc students, right? So these are common mistakes we observed in the dissertation. Except, except. These are all self-explanatory, right? So you can read past, past, proceed, proceed. Again, principle, principle. So tell me if what will be the spelling in case of principal quantum number? Will it be PLE or PAL? Principal quantum number. I hope all of you must have gone through this. Devan is saying PLE. Harsha is saying PAL. Kalyani is saying PLE. Yes, all of you should text. Let us take a poll. How many of you believe that it will be PAL? Say yes. If you believe that it should be PLE, say no. Yes and no. Ashish sir, if you can count yes and no, please let me know.
Yes,
How, how
yeah.
many of them are saying yes? Means how many of them are? Just check the option there. Hit yes or no.
Mostly saying yes, and very few saying no, one or two, I think. So
So
you say,
it should be PAL, principal quantum number. Main thing, right? On which other quantum number depends. That's why it should be PAL. It's not principle, it's not rule, it's not truth, right? Right, right. Sense. These are some easier things. Let's move to next slide. Two, and two. Ram drove to seafood shop. One can use to begin infinitive. He hoped to buy fresh squid. So after to, we always use the first form of the verb. He hoped to buy fresh squid. Use to show degree. In order to represent the degree, we use to. The book was too expensive to purchase. Use to as a synonym for also. So the second thing which we use is the synonym for also. So to was the fresh octopus. Use to when you mean the number TW. This you know. There, there, they are. Right. So there represents a place. There is a turtle in the road. Across the road is a lake. The turtle hopes to get there before a car hits him. Use there as possessive pronoun. Most drivers don't see the turtle. Their eyes are glued to their cell phones. Right. So this is again a common mistake by students. There and there. Try to understand where to use there, where to use there. They are. Yes, this is contraction for they are. Next, cannot use a dictionary. Don't use can't. Don't use shouldn't. Right. Don't contract this. Punctuation, end marks, commas, semicolons, and apostrophes. Yes, use commas to connect introductory, interrupting, and some concluding material. Interrupting material will conclude a comma before and a comma after. Let's see this example. Without a doubt, Jasmine will pass the comma test. Got it? Ram will pass the comma test without a doubt. Both are correct. use a comma with a coordinating conjunction to connect two statements, two sentences. Coordinating conjunctions are and, but, for, or, nor, yet, so. These are coordinating conjunctions. Jasmine will pass the comma test. Slacker, same, will not. Ram will pass the comma test if we are using coordinating conjunction, but then we should use comma before that. But Shyam will not. Third use of comma, use and alone to connect two items. Use and alone to connect two items. Use commas and to connect three or more items. Jasmine will buy a bag of potato chips and a hot dog. Potato chips and a hot dog. Got it? Now see how can we use comma in this statement. Jasmine will buy a bag of potato chips, a hot dog, and a soda. So there are three things, one, two, and third. So before using and, put a comma. Yes, semicolon. Use the semicolon to connect two main clauses. Do not use the semicolon to introduce a list. The comma with a transition like such as, including, or the colon does that job. Let's see one example of this. Jasmine worries about her grade in statistics. Math is not her best subject. This is the sentence. Let's see where we can use semicolon. Jasmine worries about her grade in statistics. Math is not her best subject. There are two phrases here, and we have connected those two phrases with semicolon. Jasmine worries about her grade in statistics, colon, semicolon. Math is not her best subject. Neha prefers classes that require her to write. See, now we are using colon. Intro to research, case study, and significance of the study. Right? Through these examples, you can understand the importance of using colons, semicolons. Right? So make one statement for colon. Make your own statement for colon in the chat box. Yes. Related to your subject, related to your work, related to your day-to-day study, make one statement using colon. Chat box is waiting for you. Yes.
माणसाला घेऊन याल सर.
Do practice. Now we are on workshop mode where I am asking you to do something, to write something. Texts, I am waiting. All of you should participate. There are 40 students here. I want 40 replies. I choose a work put to lose weight, stay fit, and feel energetic. Good. What about others? Today I learned how to write research papers, what to include in abstract, common mistakes, etc. Good, Devin. Achal, yes. Good to see that most of you are involved in this session. Let's move ahead. Apostrophe. Yeah, possession. Jasmine's pen, cat's eye, the professor's frowns, or use the apostrophe to indicate the letters, spaces removed in the contraction. But we generally avoid this, right? We cannot cheat from Radha's punctuation quiz because she is absent today. Okay, so there is test, one test here. I will share this presentation with you so that you can get all the information, whatever is being shared till now. We'll skip this test and we'll take a break for 10 minutes